Hello and welcome to another edition of the program, The Forum on Canal de English. Today, our guest is Romain. His name is Ange Romain N. He is a visually impaired person and also doubles as the chairman of the National Solidarity of Visually Impaired and Active Persons of Cameroon. Ange Romain N is an extraordinary person. He's here to to explain to us about his handicap, and also he's a source of inspiration. He's also here to talk about Handy Star. What is Handy Star all about? Those are the questions and more that in a while he's going to give us responses. Please do not go away. A very warm welcome here on Canal 2 English, or Canal 2 English for the purists or those who want to maintain the name. The name is Canal 2 English, and Canal 2 or Canal 2 if you want to translate everything word for word from English to French. I want to remind you that Canal 2 English is the only English-speaking language channel in Cameroon that is officially a bilingual country. And today we are receiving as guest Ange Romain N. He's an artist and also the chairman of the National Solidarity of Visually Impaired Active Persons. Mr. Romain N, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much, sir, and I'm very happy to be here on Canal 2 English. I'm also happy to be welcome, a very warm welcome as you said, and I send a very warm greeting to all televiewers. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. And the thing is that you are very fluent in English, French, and Spanish. Before we get down to those details, please tell us, you are visually impaired. Were you born like that, or you attained a certain age before losing your sight?
Thank you very much. You know, I'm sorry. Many people do think that most of the visually impaired persons are born visually impaired. No. As far as my own case is concerned, I lost my sight when I was 5. It just started one day like that, and the light started disappearing from my eye as I was still a child. And the color of the eye also started changing. And at times, I was even making some confusion of obstacles. Instead of going and take the bucket, for instance, I could have gone on that time and better take the bottle. So I was even hitting some obstacles, and since the color of the eyes was changing, the mother took me all over the hospitals. To the hospitals all over the country. But that time was just La Quintini and a child that were available, and she told me all over all those hospitals in vain. By the grace of God, some people directed her to the school. That was in 1988, and I started my class 1 there as a visually impaired person, because I was a boarder, I can say. A boarding school owned by Paul Tisano, to whom I am sending a special thank, because he's the light of the visually impaired persons in Cameroon. He's the one he's the first person, who was the first person to show us the way that to lose the fact that you lost your sight is not the loss of life.
Okay, and the question is that, so when you were between the ages of 1 and 5, you had no problem, or and 4. Now, I don't know if you could be able to recall at what time in particular and how long were you not able to distinguish, or you started losing colors, you started seeing darkness, as you're saying?
It started when I was 7, I can say, because I remember, as they brought me to class 1 without having registered me in the center. They brought me in the ordinary school, class 1, and the director said, "No, I can't receive such kind of people here. I can't receive that kind of people here, because he cannot see, he cannot write on the board, he cannot read what is written here, and I have no specialized teacher to take care of him." So as I heard that, that was my first rejection from that school. And that was the first time I realized I was different from others.
Excuse me, then you could see a little, right? You could not at all at
I
7.
could see just the appearance of the light.
You could see just the appearance of the
Yes,
light.
so it was going disappearing. It
All
was
right.
going disappearing bit by bit.
Do you
So
think
as
that
from 8,
or at from 8,
it was total blackout.
total blackout? So between 2 or 3 years, 3 years period, that's when you lost your eyes.
Yes.
That is when you were between 4. You started losing the colors.
Yes, from 4 to 8.
From 4 to 8.
Yes.
Do you think that if there was some appropriate treatment, you would not have lost your sight?
You know, appropriate treatment, I can't say it's on that way because even in Europe, there are visually impaired persons. In America, there are visually impaired persons. We know the famous Stevie Wonder, who is a visually impaired person and who has undergone all the scientific research, all the scientific possibilities, and who has not succeeded to recover his sight. So I do believe that on that time it was just the way of God.
Okay.
It was just the way of God,
and you feel it was just God's will to make you lose your sight, right? You think
not
that
to make me lose the sight, but to leave me on that condition.
live in that condition?
Yes, to leave me on that condition because God always does what's good.
Now, as children, you know, when you are a child, children sometimes don't measure the gravity of sometimes of their utterances.
Yes.
How was your growing up with your children about your age in that school that you were first rejected and later on where you were accepted?
Yes, as I was rejected from the school, the mother, luckily, got the way to bring me to the school of Portesano. Now, from that school now, I was a little bit integrated. I was accepted a little bit because I was among other visually impaired persons. But what I needed to challenge more was the fact that as I came first, the top of the class, I was now a little bit marginalized. I was not accepted by some other people who did not believe on our handwriting system. They thought at times that maybe we are cheating to come the top of the class, and at times they even call us blind person. They call us long eye. They all call us all
names.
Yes, all that sort of names that could frustrate us, that could make us be crying or regretting.
Okay, and the school that accepted was a school owned by Portesano.
Yes, that was the center. From the center, we acquired the material, the didactic material. We learned the braille system, but we were integrated in the ordinary school, Saint Michel. That was in Chang. Yes,
that is in Chang.
Yes, in the ordinary school, in the same class with those who saw very well, those who were seeing very well.
We were seeing very well. Now, let me ask you a question. And that Portesano, if I'm wrong, correct me.
Yes.
It appears he's a blind person as well.
Yes. Portesano is a visual impaired person, and he is the famous person. I mean, the first person to show the way to those who do not see, who cannot see here in Cameroon. Yes.
Okay, so Portesano himself is a visually impaired person.
Yes.
And you said he's the first person to show the way, to be the leader.
Yes, because in 1975, he created the center through the channel of Reverend Sisters. He created the center a center dedicated to visually impaired persons.
And when you say, so first, the reason you say he's a leader is because he created a school in 1975 for visually impaired. Besides that, what else does Portesano, or what else has Portesano done, which, in your opinion, is like a role model to those of you who have similar deficiencies or who are physically challenged like him?
I don't think that other leaders of the different centers of visually impaired people now are taking him as model. You know, Coco Bertin, you know, other people. And there's also the Blue Blind Center of Boya. I know that Portesano went there, but it's a center owned by the state. But as far as private centers are concerned, Portesano is the first. And now we can say that he is the only one who inspired other people to create centers. So they took him as the model.
Okay. And is it because of Portesano that you became an artist? Because I understand he's an artist. Because you are an artist, isn't it?
Yes, I'm an artist.
Right. But did you become an artist because of Portesano?
It's a part of the reason.
All right.
It's a part of the reason. Even my bilingualism is coming from him. Portesano is a perfect bilingual person. And we know when somebody is positive, when a child grows up, he always copies what's around him. He copies either the negative or the positive. If if he is lucky to copy what's positive, he will be a positive person.
Yeah, and you are lucky to copy Portezano as an artist.
Yeah.
And do you sing?
I sing.
Good. Now, okay, because for people watching you, will you mind to do a kind of a cappella for us? Any type of song? Yes, I will be happy.
What I have here is a gospel song.
Yes.
It's a gospel song that, holy, 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 my Lord. We are singing that you are holy. Holy, 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 my Lord. You are holy forevermore.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, Ange Romain. So, is your artistic? Because I see you are dressed like an artist, partly, and that's very good. Have you ever have you ever staged somewhere? Have you sung somewhere?
I used to stage where people invite me, those who believe in my competences. I used to go on stage and collect and gather some money.
Exactly.
To live.
Now, tell us, because beside being bilingual, you say the person who is your role model, Mr. Portezano, who is an artist like you, who opened the center in Chang where you attended, he is your inspirator, he is your role model. He is bilingual, but you are trilingual. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Yes. What other language do you speak?
English, French, and Spanish.
Okay.
English, French, and Spanish. You know, he will. Those who will bring up children should have in the mind that the child will be above them.
Exactly.
Will be above them. So I think it was the dream of Portezano.
Exactly.
So I succeeded. I took my degree in trilingual in University of Chang. That was in 2003. And from that time, I had 3 ambitions in front of me. Journalism in interpretation, so to go to Asti of Boya, Advanced School of Translation and Interpretation, as well as teaching.
Teaching.
Those were my 3 ambitions.
Those were 3 ambitions.
So all those 3 ambitions did not succeed.
And what do you succeed at last to become?
I succeeded at last to become a social worker.
A social worker. But that's fabulous. That's very good to be a social worker.
I do think that it was the way of God.
God decided. Okay.
Yes.
I would like to ask you, since you say you are trilingual, let me ask you one question in Spanish. ¿Cómo se llamas?
Yo me llamo Ange Romain N. Es mi nombre de artista. El nombre que yo uso para cantar. El nombre que puedo ver como cantador.
¿Tú puedes cantar en español?
Sí, canto muchísimo en español.
Se canta.
Fuera el momento de que nosotros nos reunimos para cantar alegría y sobre todo la paz en el mundo.
Yeah, muchas gracias. So you are wonderful.
Now
you came here today, Ange Romain N, because you are promoting something called Handy Star.
Yes.
And what is Handy Star all about, sir?
Handy Star is a tribune. It's a platform where disabled people, all the disabled people, not only visually impaired ones, all the disabled people should come and express their cultural talents. They should come there and express their cultural skills. Because what we have realized is that many economic operators or cultural operators organize their events without thinking of the handicap approach. What's the handicap approach? The handicap approach is that policy that enables or that pushes everybody who creates something that concerns the public to think of the 10%, to give the 10%, to reserve the 10% to disabled persons. So we have therefore realized that many economic or many cultural promoters come up with their cultural events without thinking of visually impaired people or disabled people. We can, you can give a step to Fomare, Yafe, Ngondo, Ngwon, and all those things, and you will see the different, the type of the artists they invite.
Yes.
They invite those who already have name.
Yeah, they don't invite people who are like you, like let's say visually impaired.
Yes, whereas we have competencies in us. We just need to be taken into consideration to show people that we are able to do something.
But why do you think that they are still having that type of discrimination? Because in Cameroon we have had also Andre Maritala. I think he's visually impaired.
He's visually impaired as well as Prince Aimé.
Prince Aimé visually impaired.
Yes.
Paul Tezano visually impaired.
Yes.
But why is it that cultural events or national events like Ngondo, and you name it, Yafe, and all those. Why don't they take into consideration visually impaired persons?
According to me, it seems as if they want us to be, they want to find us up and bring us to their. They want people to build us up first of all, to make us be star, to make us be internationalists before they start thinking, they start believing on our competencies. That's my first reason. The other reason is that they don't believe. They don't believe on our competencies. They don't believe that they can do something. Whereas, if a social project is put on, or if a social project is organized, is first of all for vulnerable persons. Because when vulnerable persons are not taken into consideration, the more vulnerable people are taken into consideration, the more we are going towards cohesion, social harmony, and social cohesion, and the more there is equilibrium
in the society.
In the society.
So, in a way, Handy Star is in a way trying to encourage this social equilibrium that you desire.
Yes. At times you say that you don't point the cap that you have on your head, but you have some cap on your head that people do not see. You can even take it and have it on your hand, so that people should see it well. That's why we have come up with Handy Star, so that we should be the first people to promote our own talents. We should be the first persons, the first people to promote our own talents, then to show people that we can.
Okay.
And by so doing, we fight against begging on the street. We fight against poverty. We fight against inertia, and we call upon many people to send us a helping hand.
We call many people to send you a helping hand. And this Handy Star, when is it going to take place?
Yeah, thank you for this golden opportunity. It will take place as from the Thursday, the 26th of November, and the 27th. It means from 8 a.m. on the 26th, we will start by exhibition and sale. Exhibition and sales of handwork made by disabled persons, such as hairdressing, dressmaking, baskets,
like weaving of basket, handicrafts.
Yes, handicrafts in Warsaw, at the premises of Sardefet.
Okay.
And now, all those works will be works made by hand and made by disabled persons. So, after that, we have a training on how to build one's leadership. How to build one's leadership.
Yes.
Because a disabled person should know himself. The disabled person should know his capacities and his inabilities. Then, by knowing his inabilities, we increase his capacities to cover or to neglect or to minimize his inability.
Yes, another thing, yes.
Yes, and after that, we have another conference, how to take into consideration handicap approach in the realization of cultural events in Cameroon. So, and we will visit the exhibition. After visiting the exhibition, we will have another training, how to formulate or to build a project.
A project.
Yeah. So in the evening will be opened by a cultural show, exclusively gospel music.
Exactly.
Gospel music.
Why have you decided that it should be exclusively gospel?
Exclusively gospel. We will be accompanied by Amand Crystal, many other choral musics. It should be exclusively gospel because some people think that disabled persons just go along with pity, with regret and cry.
Yes.
We want to show them that disabled people are those who can also jump, cry and chant very well to God, in thanksgiving to God. And by so doing also we'll be praying God to help us to eliminate or to make this, so that to eliminate the Boko Haram exactions in the North region, and to make the North region to come back to its peaceful and harmony period it was before.
Exactly, that's wonderful. So which means that you people are also aware of the national and international situation,
not
right?
Aware but sensitive, very touched.
Okay.
Very sensitive to all those exactions.
Exactly. Before you proceed, I want to ask you another question. You said it is going to take place at the Salle de Fête here in Akwa, Douala. And at the physically or the visually impaired persons, is it only those of Douala, or it is a national event that you are organizing, the Handy Star?
First of all, it was a national event, but due to the fact that no economic operator, no minister at all gave us a helping hand, we couldn't have invited people, whereas we are not even able to pay their transport, their lodging, their feedings, as well as other commodities.
Yeah, how come? How come that the minister or the government
Yes.
or economic operators have not come at your aid to help you people? Is it that you did not do the proper applications, or is it that they are ignoring the government, which is something strange, and also the economic operators?
Yes, all what we know is that we wrote the application. We submitted the application in the month of August, July and August. So some have given us some reply, negative reply.
Which are the people who you can we should start doing like we call naming and shaming.
We had the reply of the French embassy saying that it was so late that they appreciate the project, but unfortunately their money programmation was already down or exhausted.
Yes.
We had the reply of the Minister of Art and Culture was just last week. It was still negative, but without any reason. The reason could have even led us to know, could have even helped us to know how to...
So the Minister of Culture of this country refused to help an artist?
I don't say refuse, but they sent us a negative reply.
Yes.
We had a negative reply.
Okay.
It's a matter of refusal. We could have won. I mean, we would have been very happy if it contained some reason. Why was it not financed? Why was Ange Star not financed? The Minister of Social Affairs, we are still, some hours to reach the days of the event, we have not received any coin from the Minister of Social Affairs. So it would be very difficult for us to tell our people, our visual impaired person or other disabled people to leave the north region, the east region, the center region, and so on, to come and whereas we cannot afford their transport allowances, their lodging and feeding finances.
Okay.
Anyway, when the woman is pregnant, either will arrange it or not, she will give birth.
Exactly. So now you don't have any support from anybody. How are you supporting yourself? How are you going to finance Handy Star?
Handy Star, thank you very much. You know, the support is not always financial. The support, as far as communication is concerned, for instance, we have been supported by all the channels, communication channels in Douala and Canal 2 in particular. Such as this opportunity I'm seizing now, it should be a paid opportunity, I'm sure. So just by the fact that I've come up with Handy Star, Canal 2 International has come to accompany us. But as far as lodging, feeding, transport, and even pay artists is concerned, we can't because there's no money. The small money that we had is coming from particular people, particular persons, and from our own different ways to gather money, to collect money from here and there.
I see you have your braille. Is that on you there?
Yes.
What message do you have? Because very soon we are going to round off this program here. If you have a special message or something peculiar that you want to announce, can you do it right now?
Yes, thank you very much. I will invite the parents, first of all the parents who have the visual impaired person or any handicapped person in their house to look for different schools, because I will give my contact is the 699 69977 4546 69977 4546, as well as the 674 787807 674 787807. So I will advise all the parents who have their relative or any person who is a disabled person to look for a center. There are training centers all over the country, so that the person, by going to school, will become somebody one day. I will also plead with the government as well as with the economic operators to believe on the competencies, the cultural competencies of disabled people. Because as we are lost an organ or a sense or a part of our body, they'll help us to use the remaining capacities to become a full person. And yes.
Thank you very much, Ange Romain N, who is the National President of the National Solidarity of Visually Impaired Active persons of Cameroon. He is a role model. You have seen that a handicap is not a handicap of progress.
Yes.
If you are hardworking, you can become like Mr. Ange Romain N, who is a holder of a degree in 3 languages, English, French, and Spanish. Until then, it was a pleasure being with you. Please stay tuned to programs of Canal to English, and very soon here, we shall be having the news program, perhaps no, but stay tuned to programs of Canal to English. Tomorrow is another day.